Welcome to this video on introduction to basic lighting for portraits. So in the video today we're going to be looking at lighting with a single source. That's the light coming from the window, as you can see here, coming from the left of the subject. And we're going to be using various objects to reflect or fill the light in on the other side of the subject. So things that you may have around the house, such as a mirror or a white piece of paper or some other color piece of paper, depending on what color you want the light to be, can be used to reflect the light or fill the light in on the right side of the face in the subject. So let's get started. So as mentioned previously, as you can see, we have a lot of light coming from the subject's left hand side, the right hand side as we're looking at the image. So obviously with a single source like that coming from the right as we're looking at it, the other side of the face will end up being quite dark. So we need to try and at least balance it a little bit or fill in the light on the other side of the face using a number of different options. So as I mentioned before, we can use reflective objects like a mirror or some paper, and also we look at using a flashlight as well. So in the first shot we're going to be using a mirror to fill in the light on the left hand side. So here's what that final shot looks like. On the second shot then we'll use a white piece of paper, and you'll notice how this doesn't reflect as much light in. It gives a much softer light than the mirror would, because the mirror reflects a lot more light. And here's the final image for that. So I have the camera set up here to take an image using a flashlight with a transmitter which is attached to the hot shoe on top of the camera. And I will go to the receiver, which is fixed to this flash. So it'll allow me to use this. As you can see, it's quite an old flash, but that doesn't really matter. It still works fine. It will work then remotely, so I can handhold it in different positions rather than just using it over the camera. So let's see how that looks. So we have our shot set up here. And then I'm just going to stand over to the left hand side and fire off the flash as the image is taken, and that will nicely light up the left hand side of the image, or the right hand side of the subject's face. So now we can see the difference between the other portraits where we didn't use a flash, where we just used some reflective light, and also a portrait where we used no fill-in light whatsoever, and you can see the difference it makes in terms of balancing the light across the face for these types of images. So here we have our final three images together, comparing what they look like with using a flash as fill light, using a reflective object like a piece of paper as a fill light, and using no fill light whatsoever. Thank you for watching this introduction to portrait lighting with natural light. I hope it was helpful. Thank you.